Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We can all agree it's been a little minute since I shared a video here on my YouTube channel, but I'm back. I couldn't let 2024 pass without sharing my reflection on 2024 video, my ins and outs of 2025, my goal setting, my resolutions, although, you know, let's be honest, we need things that we're going to stick to rather than resolutions that you may well not be able to stick to after the first few weeks. And my intentions for 2025, and just a little bit of a look back on the year. So I really do hope that if you are watching this at the end of the year and you just want a little bit of something to keep you company while, you know, this Twixmas period of time, which is a little bit, you don't know if you're coming or going, you don't even know what the day is, let's be honest, or you just want a little bit of clarity for your year ahead so we can do this together, then I really do hope that you find the video helpful and enjoyable. Grab a blanket, get cozy, get a nice drink, and get those Christmas chocolates that you want to get out of the house ahead of the beginning of January. But yeah, please do settle in, enjoy the video, and let me know in the comments your ins and outs or your resolutions or how your year's been, if it's been the best year, the worst year. Let's just all chat about it in the comments and keep each other company. Anyway, let's get into the video. If you are watching this as well, by the way, there's going to be a finance goals setting video as well. So how to set your goals for success for the year financially, my own financial goals, what we're saving for, some big money projects that we're doing as well, and some basically how to set yourself up for success for the year ahead. Go and watch that one if you are interested in that sort of thing, living your best life on a budget. But first of all, let's chat a little bit about reflection of 2024, because these kind of videos, for me, they serve as a little visual diary of how things were, because I think we can, as humans, we one bad thing could happen and it kind of makes us feel in a negative headspace, and other things that have happened are that everything was bad, if that makes sense. Whereas I can watch this video back at the end of 2025 and think, I've come such a long way. And I think for me, it's a really good way of doing it. So if you're not making videos, of course, then just make a habit of writing things down. And one of the best things I love doing is writing down a list of things that really made your year special. Because in a few years' time, we're likely to have forgotten it. So it's a really nice way of really looking back on the year and thinking about things that happened and remembering them when we're looking ahead from looking back, that actually there was some really good stuff that happened. So for me, I'll also add the chapters in the description bar for this video, by the way, because it may well be that you want to skip ahead for goal setting and all the ins and outs, or you might want to be here for the reflection of 2024. I'm also going to share my word of the year as well, because I do that every single year in this video. So reflection. This year has been a long slog financially and professionally. And I want to preface this with something that I saw online that I hope will really help you if you are thinking also that you had a bit of a crappy year and that it didn't really go your way and that you are behind in life, or that you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve, because I certainly feel that. And that was a video from an NBA basketball player, and he was being interviewed, and it simply said something like, are you gutted or are you disappointed with your achievements this year, how you didn't get to where you wanted to be, or win a certain trophy or tournament, whatever. And he literally said to the guy, I can't remember the reference he made, it was something like Michael Jordan had 15 years or 20 years, that's probably completely incorrect, of this amazing career, but only 5 of them he won certain trophies or tournaments or whatever. And he was like, does he look back on his career and think that he was no good? No, absolutely not.
This season is a failure.
Do you get a promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success. There's always steps to it. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure? That's what you're telling me? No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure. You know, there's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. You don't always win. Some other people's gonna win. And this year somebody else is gonna win. Simple as that. We're going to come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits. Hopefully we can win a championship.
You have a bad year, you're not going to be your absolute 100% best all the time, and that is okay, because you'll never actually, it's never just going to be like the best ever, because then the last year isn't as good as the next year, because that's the best ever. And it was really interesting to me. It really helped my mindset shift, because I thought, actually, yeah, like this year has not gone how I planned it. I'll talk a little bit more, but I had a lot of ups and downs in my business, and I was gutted. I spent a long time gutted, and that headspace it's given me is not a good place to go, because then that just impacts everything I think about my year. I'm like, well, that was crap, that didn't work out, I didn't grow there, and I wasn't as good there, and things like that. And actually, if you think about it, I've still achieved a lot. It's just, it wasn't at the trajectory that I was hoping it would be. And I didn't do what I was hoping to do in the beginning. But actually, if I look back on where I was 5 years ago, then I'm still in a really good place. So if you are feeling like that, please take that away. That was probably a bit convoluted the way I described it. But basically, you're not always going to have your best year yet. You're not always going to be achieving all your goals and being really successful. Things change. Like, I can't have predicted the things that have changed in my year, but they have, and I just need to work with it and then take that forward and not let that bog me down for the year ahead, because otherwise I'm just going to be in a really negative headspace, and I'm not going to feel like I'm in control of things. And you know, I always say this to you, make sure you are in control of things so they don't control you, especially with your finances. That's the door. I'll be right back. Okay, the most annoying part about the door going was that I had to unhook my mic, and it was actually in such a good place, and now it's not. Anyway, so yes, it wasn't a great year. I left my long-term management in January. I had decided that I just really wanted I wanted to progress my business, and I wasn't feeling like I was getting that support. And then I went on my own for a few months, and it was great, but honestly, it takes such a long time, like the back end stuff, like all the contracts and stuff when you work with brands. And I felt like I really enjoyed being solo without management, and I loved it, but it was taking me so much time. And so I decided, you often get reached out to when you do this as a job for people that want to manage you, obviously, because they take a very chunky cut of your commission, of your money that you make in commission. So you have to sort of weigh up what they give, what they can support you with versus what you're giving them financially, monetarily. And so I joined another management. Basically, it wasn't a good time. It was not a good experience. Lots of things came out the woodwork, and I very quickly left. But it was a really up and down period. It just took so long to sort out all the contracts with joining them. And then I was looking into the stuff that was going on that they didn't know I knew. And it was a very stressful time. And I've done this for 12 years. I've never had that experience before. I've had 2 other managements, and it's all been fine. And so I was like, this is just not normal. And it was taking so much of my brain space. So then I went on my own again, and I really, really liked it again, but it just takes so much time, and I was just wasting so much time, and I hate to waste time. I feel like I don't want to be unproductive. So then I found another amazing management, and I've been with them for a few months, and hopefully once we're all settled in, they're really, really lovely, really great company, and I'm looking forward to starting afresh in 2025 with them in my corner and as a business partner. But yeah, it's just not been a good year. It's been so different with the industry, because there's so many people obviously that do this as a job now. I've done this for 12 years, and it's not just YouTube. It would be obviously all the other social media. I've done TV presenting, I've done writing a column, I've done lots of magazine sort of newspaper writing, copywriting, and all that sort of stuff. So it's very varied, and I love that about it. But it's just been, this year has just not worked out. I've not grown. I've actually reduced my income quite a lot. And I just haven't really achieved the things I wanted to achieve. But, like I said, you can't always be at the top of your game. I have obviously still got a young family, and I can be there for them, which is, that is wealth. Having the time together, being able to do the school run every day, being able to do the plays when they have them, we just come out the back of Christmas where there's a lot of plays and a lot of school appointments. That is wealth to me, being there for the children every evening when they come home from school, or 3 o'clock. So yeah, it's easy to think I haven't been successful or I've not done what I wanted to achieve. But if you zoom out, always, if in doubt, zoom out, look at the bigger picture. wealth to me is time, freedom, and health. And, we have those things. So it's been a slog, but I'm looking forward to starting afresh in 2025 and absolutely smashing my goals. So I'll move on from there to YouTube. Obviously, you will have noticed that I've really been absent from YouTube the last kind of quarter of this year, maybe more than that. And I think, honestly, my mental health has been pretty low this year on the back of having these issues with my business and people that I've partnered with. And, I've mentioned before brands that I've worked with and they aren't paying me. And that's like a real stress financially because I don't want to lose that money. I've done the work sort of thing. And they're just, bad companies that are not paying their people they owe. And I know lots of people that have also had the same issue. But it has made my mental health quite low. I think obviously my perimenopausal symptoms or, how I'm feeling with that has massively affected it as well. And I think it's really hard putting your life out there online because you get so much judgment from people that don't necessarily know you, but they like to judge you and they like to comment on your life. And, when I was doing a lot of newspaper writing, when we did our No Buy year in 2019, I was getting people that didn't know us at all, that just would see an article online that had no context around it, and they would come along and just want to write spiteful things and horrible things. And these people don't actually know us, they don't know our story, they have no idea who we are, they just see a thing and they're like, keyboard warrior, horrible comments. And I think for me, I really stepped away because I was finding it really hard to put myself out there to get this negative reaction. And it wasn't obviously lots of you guys, it's just amazing community. I'm so lucky to have you. But there's also people that you don't know, you, and that like to just spread not positive things. And it's been hard. I think it's really sort of taken its toll on me because it's hard to put your life out there for people just to judge you. And, you have to obviously realize there's only a snippet of my life that I share, even less so now. But I think that's maybe draw away from YouTube. And I love YouTube. I really love it. But I was finding the editing is taking me days and days and days. And you're at the mercy of being seen, your videos being seen. So sometimes it's just not been very a good use of my time to spend making videos that aren't necessarily pushed out to the right audience or pushed out at all, and the views being low. So I've kind of just had a little bit of a internal to and fro about whether what I want to do with my channel. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. I think also the one big thing for me is I spent 5 years talking about money and being good with your money and saving money and making more money. And then it felt like I didn't know if I had much more to give on the topic because I'd spoken about it all before. But obviously with people that are coming across my videos, they may not have ever seen a video before, so they need the money saving tips. But then people that have been watching it a long time have already heard them, so then they may well say, you've spoken about this before. So it's really a really difficult balance, let me tell you. But yeah, do let me know the sort of thing you'd like to see on this channel. Obviously, over on my other social medias, I'm there very actively every single day. So if you are missing that little dose of what I'm up to, then definitely check those out for more day-to-day stuff. But yeah, I'm a woman in my 40s now. My family are growing up. I've got tweens. Christmas looks different, with that age age range, and yeah, maybe we're growing together. If you've been around here since they were babies, your children are also tweens. So yes, that's work. Another thing with the brain stuff is, or my mental health. I think that I can be quite affected by stuff, and I've actually sort of learned how to work with my brain and not against my brain. And I'm not going to diagnose anything of myself, but I've definitely got a very active brain that is flitting between one project and the other, and then doing all the tabs are open, and then I'm not completing any of them because I'm so overwhelmed and I haven't got the time to do it. But then I've got so many ideas and I want to be creative, and I've got to I need to hone in on a few things at once rather than too many things open. So yeah, working with my brain, not against it, is something I really want to take into 2025. So let's talk a little bit about goal setting for 2025. As I said, I have always got different ideas, and I've always wanted to help other people. That's obviously why I did all the money saving stuff, to share how we did it, to help other people do it. And the messages from people saying, they have paid off their debt, or they've managed to buy a house because they've watched my videos and they've got so many tips. It just makes me so, so happy and thrilled that I've been a tiny part. You've done all the work, but I've been a tiny part to help that. So I have started the ball rolling, the motion, whatever, to start selling some digital products to help you with that sort of thing. And I set up an Etsy store. I've also got them on my website, which is larajoannajarvis.com, which is a resource that I've put so many years into. And again, I have not continued with updating it because I don't know whether we'll get into that. But so I've got loads of products. So I will be, whether they are live by the time this goes up is another question, but go and check it out in the description bar for my new store. Hopefully you'll find something there that's going to help you. It's going to give you like the tools to do what you want to do. It's not just money saving, it's productivity, it's lists, it's even social media stuff, like how to set up a social media account or how to set up an Amazon store, how to set up like hooks for if you're making videos as well, content plans, like loads of stuff. Basically 12 years of what I've been doing, I've put into guides and products and digital downloads and things that you can put on your iPad for like tick lists and just so many things. I'm buzzing about it. So I'd love your support. If you do want to check them out, I will do giveaways on here as well if you want to get free products. But yeah, check those out because I'm really proud of them and I think you're going to love them. So there's that. More self-development. So I love self-development and I really love just like building on what I know and like knowing more. So I want to do more reading. So I think I challenged myself to 24 books this year and I lost count. I've done so many and I never was a reader. Like I literally didn't read. I don't know why, I could read. I just didn't read. And I think it's because I didn't ever have a genre of book that I enjoyed. And then I found Lisa Jewell books and Lucy Clark and now T.M. Logan, I think his name is. I love reading. I read all the time. And it just helps me because I was a scroller, a bedtime scroller, and I still am. But if you get a good book, you want to put the phone down so you can look at the book. So yes, I want to do more reading and more self-development books. So let me know if you've got any good ones in the comments. I love listening to self-development podcasts as well and biohacking. I'm really into my health sort of like knowledge as well. So obviously my fasting that I do, I've got a whole video on fasting. So yeah, just like building on like what I know and just enriching my life with knowledge, because I think you get to a certain age and actually you want to learn again after being at school and you don't want to be there and learn and stuff, generalized. Yeah, so that's one big goal for the year. I want to do more travel. And one of the things I put in, I did a video over on one of the short form platforms the other day, and it was like, this year didn't go to plan. So like this is my first year in like a decade, I didn't have a travel campaign with a travel brand, which it's a hard one. There are just so many people now that do this, which is great. And it's a booming economy, but obviously it means that there's less work out there for people because there's more people doing it. And so yeah, for my very first year without travel partners was like, oh, what am I doing wrong? But do you know what? I'm just going to keep traveling, keep documenting it, keep showing you how to do things either on a budget or with a family, or like ticking a box of like how this can be helpful to somebody. So I want to do more of that. And we've got a few girly trips actually next year, which is nice because we're just tailing off the last of the 40s. But yeah, more travel because it makes my soul happy. We love traveling, and I want to show the boys. My eye's going, can you see that? Isn't that weird? It's done it for like about a month now. Should I be worried? I feel like this is a long one, isn't it? Okay, next one, self-sabotage. Shall we talk about? I need to stop with the self-sabotage. I don't know if you struggle with this, but I do. It's almost like, you can either be the fear of rejection, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of all these things. I'm like the other way. I'm always like the fear of doing well. And there's obviously some deep-seated issues there, which we won't dig into because I'm fine. Ross voice. I'm fine. No, I'm fine. But obviously there's something there with like being successful, and I want to stop the self-sabotage. I want to help other people. So like, why wouldn't I help myself? So that's a big thing for the new year. New business with the digital products, which I'm really buzzing about and excited for. I hope you can support me if you're able to. And there's two things that are on the radar for 2025, which we've been thinking about for over a year. One, So I've talked to you about like this money that we're either going to buy another property to do rental or use to pay off more of our mortgage. We have these two things, and I keep thinking, like, we love to travel. It's like the biggest passion we have, and I've always done it. And I really want to like just go and live in another country. Do you know what I want the universe to give me? An opportunity, because I don't want to leave my mum. I want to give the opportunity to us where we are able to like work abroad for a year and like have that experience for the children and that sort of thing. Just experience it. I've done loads of traveling, but I've never lived abroad for a certain amount of time, certainly with the children, like homeschooling or foreign schools or whatever. But in the interim, if the universe is not ready to give us that yet, I really want to get a camper van and like have more holidays in the UK. There's so many beautiful places here. So that is also on our radar. If you've ever had one, because we'd only be able to get like one of the VW style size ones, because I'd love a bigger one, but we wouldn't be able to store it. So if you have one and you have children, boys or girls, then let me know if that's a wise thing, because I just would love it. Like we could even go like on a road trip down to Portugal, all the way down. I'd love it. So yeah, let me know. And the other thing, which is something we've been talking about for a year, George has been asking for 6 or 7 years, is to get a dog. I grew up with dogs. I've always had dogs growing up. George has always been asking for a dog. Henry's recently started. Now Stuart's like, oh, well, if they're both asking. And I just think it's so lovely. Everyone I know that's got a dog is like, it's the best thing we've ever done. Love it. But it's such a big commitment. And obviously we like to go away and we haven't got that network around us, like family that would have it. So huge commitment, but that is something on our radar. So if I'm looking at this in 2026, and I'm like, we got a dog, best thing ever, I can look back on this and think, just go with your gut. I'm going to wrap up because we've got a few other things to talk about, but I'm aware that this is going on. But I said it was going to be a chatty one, cozy. I hope you're eating those chocolates, enjoying them. Right, should we talk about my word of the year? Because I tried to set a word of the year, and I've done like my ins and outs, but more of like a sort of conversational one. So like ins being more, more reading, more travel, more sort of success in business, or like going for the ideas that I have. Outs being self-sabotage and not feeling good enough, or worrying like what people think of me online, because what people think of you is none of your business. Literally just do you. But yeah, my word of the year last year was health is wealth. Let's recap on that a little minute. Not in good health right now, if you saw my recent health update, but we're getting it sorted. And I'm 40, like I'm so grateful for the health that I have. And gratitude is just, literally we went to London yesterday for a date day, and I said to Stuart, we are so lucky that we can just dart about, like we were crossing a road and like running across there, running for the train, running for the tube. I was like, we've been walking 20,000 steps. Like my ribs were really hurting actually there. Like, I get really bad ribs since I've had babies. But I was like, we're so lucky. Like, we're so lucky we're this healthy that we can just walk around London all day, that we are able to, that we can finance it, that we can, the children are happy. They were at school all day, to be fair. Like little things, you've got to be grateful for the little things. And I've got loads of videos on like manifestation and gratitude and stuff like that. So go and watch those if you want something to watch to get you started for the new year. But yeah, so my health hasn't been great, but it is also great as well. But my word of the year, I've been thinking about this. Let me know your word of the year as well, if you have one, is awareness. Now, I think for me, awareness means like awareness of, like I said, like how my brain works, awareness of things around me, like gratitude, but also just like awareness, like life is rushing by. I really want to be aware of like the little things, which I've really made a big sort of effort to do this year. And I spoke about this in like, the word before, I think, was slow living. And it was just like making sure I take the time to like notice things. And awareness might even be like how my brain works, or, if the children needs extra support with something, like obviously they're going through like tween stuff now, like with girls, or like friendship groups, or all this stuff, new schools and stuff like that. And yeah, I was just like, awareness is a good one, because it really reminds me to like step back, take it all in, be aware of my health. Am I like I'm tracking my periods a lot more. I'm tracking when my bloating comes in. I'm tracking like perimenopausal symptoms and stuff like that. And I just think like, it sort of combines like slow living, which I've started watching stuff on soft living, by the way. Let me know if you want any videos on that. Because I think like that's a nice in-between slow living, because I'm quite fast paced, so I don't really want to be slow living, but I want to enjoy it all, be aware of it. Soft life. So it's like, no more hustle. I've hustled for so many decades. I've had a corporate career for 10 years, working my way up as a female in the IT industry. And then I've had this for over a decade. Like, I'm tired. I'm literally tired. Like, there's people now coming in their 20s. No wonder they've got the energy to do what I was doing a decade ago, because they haven't been beaten down by life. A lot more headspace, maybe. But anyway, so yeah, awareness. I think that's a good one. I'm pleased with that one. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there just because I have been talking a long time. Go and check out my financial goal setting video if you want to start the year right for 2025. And yeah, just leave me a comment. Like, it's nice to know that you're here, that you're watching. If you got to the end of this, congratulations. And let me know what your favourite Christmas chocolate is. I'm talking like box, like celebrations, roses, Quality Street, Heroes, like just comment below, because then I know you've stayed till the end. Thank you so much for watching. I promise I will do better in the next year with showing up here more. But do check out my other socials if you want to see what I do every day. And yeah, happy new year, like healthy, let's live our best lives. And yeah, can't wait to see what the year brings. I'm in trepidation. Anyway, love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.